now. We're over the DMV first warn day, but now I need to prepare you for a heat wave. Have your full forecast. It's coming up.
A dangerous storm leaving a large trail of damage with tens of thousands of people without power. We have team coverage all across the region.
Taking school safety to the next level.
In all of these different scenarios, we notify the right people to get to the right place.
The new AI security systems coming to schools across Loudoun County.
Celebrating Junth in the DMV, the community continuing to mark the importance of the day by pushing for liberty and freedom for all.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. Severe storms tearing across the region, causing so much damage. We're talking about toppling trees, pulling down power lines, and you can see it electrified the voltage here on the power lines and also grounding flights.
Pretty incredible video here. We have live team coverage as the weather finally calms down. Daniel Hamburg live in Chevy Chase, Maryland, and our Ben Dennis is in Dunlorne, Virginia. But first, let's get right over to our chief meteorologist, Janessa Webb. Certainly a pretty chaotic few hours this afternoon and evening, Janessa.
Absolutely. Started at about 3 o'clock, so right on time. One of the strongest squall lines I've seen this year, really a year and a half across the DMV. Quite the summer storm with destructive severe thunderstorm warnings going into place. There's still a little bit of instability that's happening, but the cold front is crossing our region right now, and some isolated to scattered showers we are seeing outside of Prince George's County. Hardest hit area, DC metro area this afternoon as that line of storms continue to kind of track through, but also central Montgomery County. Everyone is drying out. We just turned 9 o'clock. There you go. And so that severe thunderstorm watch has expired for the entire region. So it's right on time now that the clearing is starting to happen. Now with this frontal passage now making its way into Delaware, you have the leftover winds 15 to about 30 miles per hour. And so winds are going to now shift folks out of the north and west, and that's going to give way to some cooler air. It's a beautiful night out there right now, and tonight is going to remain on the quiet side, and dew points, they're still in the 70s for the district, but each hour they will start to go down, and you'll notice the difference for the start of your Friday. I have a wonderful looking Friday on tap. It will give you a chance to pick up the pieces, but next I need to prepare you for our next DMV first warn due to heat and humidity. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
All right, Janessa, thank you. Take a look at this scene here in Maryland with the tree on top of this car here. The driver is in Montgomery County. You could see the tow crew getting ready. He was not hurt, and he eventually, as you can watch right here, he is reversing himself out of that danger.
Boy, how scary. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live tonight in Chevy Chase. And Daniel, you spoke with that driver this afternoon of that car. I mean, it had to be pretty nerve-wracking for that man.
Yeah, he was certainly rattled for sure. As you said, luckily uninjured. You can see right behind me, the car is gone, but that bus and tree limbs are still here. Going to take quite some time to clean it up. Severe storms caused widespread damage across Montgomery County. This was the scene on Tacoma Avenue near Richmond Avenue in Tacoma Park, where a tree fell onto a house, taking power lines with it.
We had dozens of trees falling on houses. I'm not aware of any significant injuries as a result.
This video on East-West Highway in Chevy Chase shows power lines on fire. Further down the road near the intersection of Connecticut Avenue, a massive tree fell on top of a Metro bus and a car around 4:30 p.m.
I was sitting waiting to turn out onto Connecticut. And all of a sudden the sky got really dark, the winds really picked up, and just all of a sudden this tree fell on me.
Michael Fay says his windshield shattered all over him.
It was scary, yeah. So once I got my wits about me, I called 911 because I couldn't get out of the car, because the branches were keeping the door from opening. So they came and they got me out.
Fay was told when he called there were a lot of other people calling 911 too.
From 4:30 to 6:30, we handled a little over 200 calls for service. Typically in a 24-hour period, we handle maybe around 400 calls.
I'm just grateful to be safe.
Now, I did just talk with some Metro workers out here who tell me it is going to be many hours until this bus can be moved, because they say the tree that fell toppled some communication wires. So first, Verizon has to come out here and deal with that. MDOT will come and deal with the trees, and then they'll finally be able to reopen this road. But as of now, East-West Highway just east of Connecticut here is going to be closed throughout the night. We're live in Chevy Chase. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, could be a long night out there. Daniel, thanks for the update. Meanwhile, Virginia also hit really hard by the storm. You can see this tree that fell just toppling power lines.
Yeah, DC News Now's Ben Dennis. Morning, and Ben, you saw similar scenes just continuing to play out over and over in that neighborhood.
That's right. Plenty of examples of power lines crossing, limbs that were just toppled onto residential streets, like right here in Dunn-Loring. This is the neighborhood just north of 66 and I-495 in Dunn-Loring. Thankfully, despite the scene you see right in front of you, nobody was hurt. Snapped trees and downed power lines aplenty, laying on roads and in the yards of homes in Fairfax County Thursday.
We were sitting on the couch and it sounded like an explosion, and then the power flickered and then it just went black.
Carl Ferris remembers the moment the worst of the strong storm swept through near the Dunn-Loring Swim Club, taking the power out for several blocks.
As long as everyone's safe, that would be fine, but we'd like it to get up as soon as possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
Our team came across a large tree on I-66 westbound in Arlington County, laid across the shoulder and blocking one lane. Here, 3 people and a dog are okay after the homeowner says her master bedroom suddenly got a water fixture. This large oak tree was uprooted, bringing down 2 other trees from the house next door. Neighbors avoided any damage to their house. And on Frank Street in Vienna, power lines blocking several homes where one neighbor says she's worried about her older neighbors. This road reaches them. It's blocked by trees and wires. Now, Dominion Energy at this hour is reporting 34,000 customers in Fairfax County alone without power. That's 34,000 families, including businesses as well. Nearly 500 in this Dunn-Loring neighborhood alone. Circumstances, no doubt, having crews out all night into the morning. Hopefully power restored as soon as possible, not only to get the lights back on for many families who live here and across the DMV, but also to crank on the AC if they need it with a sticky night. In Fairfax County, Ben Dennis, back to you.
All right, Ben, I'll take a live look. This is at Reagan National Airport right now in Northern Virginia. Earlier tonight, there were ground stops there, and also at Dulles Airport and in Baltimore at BWI. They had ground stops for several hours. All have now been lifted, but the impact from those ground stops, they are still being felt right now. So far, we know there are more than 100 cancellations at Reagan, and more than 300 flights in and out of the airport were delayed. At Dulles, nearly 350 delays and more than 50 flights canceled. And at BWI, 270 delays and 20 cancellations there in Baltimore.
In Northern Virginia, the man who plotted a mass shooting at a Haymarket church has been sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. A jury convicting Ray Jiang, this was back in March, for planning that attack in 2023. Investigators say that he showed up to a Sunday service with a loaded semi-automatic handgun, 2 magazines of ammo, and 2 knives. They were tipped off and able to arrest him without incident. They later found a manifesto in his apartment. The 36-year-old will also be serving 5 years of supervised release after his sentence.
Developing now at 9, a Northern Virginia school district has plans to use AI to help keep students and staff safe. DC News Now's Max Marcilla shows us how it works.
It's summer break now and schools in Loudoun County are quiet, but in a few short months when students come back, they may not even know the change that's happening all around them.
AI is just another tool, right? It's not replacing people. What it's doing is making people more effective.
All of these cameras right now placed in and out of school buildings will feed footage through a new artificial intelligence software called Volt AI. These videos from the company show how it works. Using AI, incidents can be tracked in real time. This example is of an unauthorized person coming into an office. There are also videos from Volt AI showing how the software is designed to stop people with weapons, pick up when a fight is just starting, and also for potential medical emergencies.
In all of these different scenarios, we notified the right people to get to the right place.
Dmitry Sokolovsky, the company's co-founder and CEO, says this tech can make schools aware of instances they may not be aware of otherwise.
The challenge is that if the kids know that no one's around and they can pick a fight.
According to the Washington Post, this software will cost just north of $1 million for the first year. It's a 5-year contract that gets to be reviewed each year, but it's part of a larger safety effort by the school district that could also include weapons detectors at some sporting events. But beyond a hope the software can help track and respond to any number of incidents, the hope is it could also influence how students act.
With our technology, what we actually see is that once kids realize that this is deployed at their school, their behavior changes at the school.
In Loudoun County, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Very cool look at technology there, Max. Thank you. Plenty of Juneteenth celebrations all across the DMV, marking the last Confederate state to get word of President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, freeing enslaved people back in 1865.
In the district, many in the community coming together to march across the 11th Street Bridge in a Walk for Freedom. That bridge connects Navy Yard to Anacostia. It marks the same path many formerly enslaved people walked to freedom following the Emancipation Proclamation.
You are walking on sacred ground. This is where people that have made history that changed the world have walked before. It is an honor to walk in their footsteps and to take that history forward.
Juneteenth events are happening all throughout the weekend as well. For the full list, just go to our website, dcnewsnow.com. Coming up on DC News Now, local families talk about the importance of celebrating Juneteenth while enjoying festivities at National Harbor.
And Houston, we have a problem. The enormous explosion on a Texas launch pad, the latest setback to Elon Musk's race to Mars.
Ahead at 9:30, a historic home right near the Underground Railroad Trail up in flames. We're learning more about the significance of the centuries-old building.